Well, it's Friday the 6th of March, only 3 more days till Mercury goes direct. He'll hang around for a moment, coinciding with the full moon on the 9th in Virgo, opposite the Sun. There's some solid energy available in the next few days. Use it to think about your ideal life. This is episode 2009 of 301 Permanently Moved Online, a personal podcast 301 seconds in length, written, recorded, and edited in 1 hour by me at the JMO. Spring is trying to sprung here in London, so feeling the rhythm of the year, we turn our minds towards renewal and refreshment. I'm sure it's not just me that's starting to get that time to spring clean vibe. Open the windows, blow away the stale air, take a look at the dust on top of your books, not the shelf itself, and decide which friendly spiders can stay and who can move on. I've never been a particularly tidy person. In fact, Mr. Messy was probably the Mr. Man of choice until I morphed into Mr. Grumble. For all of my teenage years through my early 20s, not a single surface could be free for a second without something ending up on them, including the floor. As an adult, I've wondered a lot if that was just a protracted period of unrecognised depression. Neither have I been particularly organised in my personal life. Those behaviours that I get hired and paid to help other people with are all learnt in the professional environment. I'm also really bad at catching hype cycles. I'm a year late on this one, but this week I wanted to talk about everyone's favourite domestic exorcist, Marie Kondo, and the life-changing magic of tidying up. I can honestly say that her book changed my life way back in 2012. Right now, as I speak, all my clothes drawers are folded with the Marie Kondo method. I even have the cut-down shoe boxes to keep things organised. When the TV show aired last January, the internet got mad about books. The whole episode is shameful. The outrage, as with many internet shitstorms, was fueled mostly by a willful misunderstanding of what Kondo was saying in her book. The idea of sparking joy does not come from the book's content, rather than the connection that you have with the book as an object. She isn't saying to only keep the books whose stories make you happy, but rather the books as objects that make you happy. I would also go as far to say that there was a considerable amount of racism involved in the whole affair. Way back in episode 1880, I spoke about mise en place and the spirit of places informing the use of a space. So it comes as no surprise to me that Kondo encourages us to greet the house, a communication with the house spirits, plural, to ask them to help us tidy. The scenes in the TV were somewhat orientalised, but I was glad for their inclusion. A truer experience of more than human lifeways is the decolonial project for us in the West during the next century. Her book brings a light animism into your life in a way that isn't scary. If a pair of socks spark joy in you, the feeling is reciprocal. Most Western publications on her animism smuggling lead with the fact that she worked as an assistant at a Shinto shrine as a teenager. But this Reddit AMA quote from Kondo disabuses us of that, saying, "Shintoism influences me, but not as strongly as you might think." For me, the magical part of Kondo's story is in 2010 when she takes the course, How to Write Bestsellers That Will Be Loved for 10 Years. At the end of that process, she gets a publishing deal for the book that will become life-changing magic, without ever having written a single word. One of the editors and judges of the course, Tomohiro Takashi, said in an interview, "I felt a mysterious energy around her that I had never experienced around other people. She's going to be on TV and become famous." And here we are. If I ever met her, it would be that period of her life that I'd ask about. But between her selling her book to the publisher and becoming a worldwide phenomenon was an act of God. The 2011 earthquake had a huge impact on Japanese culture. Questions around what is an important life, and what is the true value of sentimental items, and what is the meaning of the items that we had lost were all widespread. The magical answer that is contained in Kondo's book, of course, is to ask them. The key magic in the book is without a doubt identifying items in your house that spark joy, a term that is difficult to grasp. For Westerners, I think spark joy's negative cousin, oh what a waste, is useful. The guilt or sadness you experience when disposing of something before its potential utility has been exhausted. Spark joy, then, is its opposite, the joyous feeling you experience when you use an item in your life. Honestly, if you haven't given her book a go, I really recommend it. The book, however, isn't a one-off process, it's always ongoing. Kondo, I think, suggests honing one's skills towards a strategic investment in goods, which is antithetical to the consumerist culture that we currently live in. It is also worth remembering that it rose to prominence after a natural disaster. With the uncertain climate futures we are facing and the urgent process of decolonisation that is required in our culture, we're going to need strategies for degrowth and re-enchantment. Yes, the future can be defined as less is more, but it's also a future that's going to be far more alive than the present reality that we currently live in. I think her book is fantastic and an important book, not just of today, but for the future. If you didn't get it last year or in 2012, maybe try it this spring and get a jump on the future.